seems to be the world's most taboo subject. In this video, why I hate talking about money. How's it going, reinventors? Amelia Sims here, and in this video, I want to talk to you about why I hate talking about money. You probably can relate, and by the end of this video, I think you will have changed your own money mindset. I'm a retired pastor, and for 20 years, I inspired people in churches, and now I'm in the process of renewing myself and inspiring people from all beliefs and backgrounds. For inspiration, so that you can reinvent your life and find authentic joy, fulfillment, and purpose, please subscribe and don't forget to click on the bell notification so that you can get notified when I post videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Now, I admit that I hate talking about money. I know that when I get together with friends, we would rather talk about what we do in our respective bedrooms than how we spend our money or how much money we have. And yet I wonder how much better off I would be if I actually would talk with my spouse about money. I wonder how much better off women would be in terms of the wage gap between women and men in the workplace if women and men really talked about money. Finances make taboo conversations in polite society, and yet money seems to have a particular power over us, and we tend to wield money as power over others. Our personal finances really impact who we are and how we see ourselves. I want to share with you why I think that is. I want to share with you also part of my own money mindset background and how powerful it will be when I claim money and money talk as part of who I am. I hope this will help you be more transparent when it comes to money and also change your own money mindset. So why would not talking about money actually hurt you? Well, it could hurt you professionally. In other words, if you are in a career where the wage gap is real between women and men, and right now, depending on either the Pew Research or the Census Bureau, it's somewhere between 80 to 85%. What if women actually spoke out and talked about how much they made in the workplace? Now, I think that a lot of businesses discourage this kind of talk, and I was in a profession where your salary was completely transparent. One of the things that it happens in the United Methodist Church is a person's salary is part of public record, whether it's part of the church or part of the annual conference that you are a part of. I have to say that even though it's public record, clergy, when they got together or when they still get together, they don't talk about how much they make. It's never really a conversation piece. Unless they're moving, they might say, oh, I'm getting a raise of so much, or I'm now going to be making this. Sometimes clergy women do talk, but it really not. And I think that really hurts us, because if money is such a taboo subject, if money is something that we're not talking about, it's always going to be a secret. And especially for women, we're never going to make more if we keep our mouths shut. I think that is true with any profession. Now, you may disagree. You may say, well, no, it's a matter of being confidential. But I'm sorry, whatever profession you're in, you're going to get an idea about how much money a person makes, or you're going to get people who get into trouble acting like they make more money. People around the water cooler is going to talk about, whatever they bought or did over the weekend or vacation they took, or the houses they live, or the neighborhoods they live in, or the schools they go to, or the private schools they go to. People are always going to talk. And even though you say, well, we don't talk about money, people know. They pick up on those kinds of things. So to say, oh, we shouldn't ever talk about it, I think that's wrong, because I think that's living a lie. And if you want to live an authentic life, then you need to be talking about it. Now, I'm not saying in the next staff meeting to start talking about how much you make, but just start putting some feelers out there. Start saying, hey, let's talk about money, or maybe even have a workshop at your place of business. Say, let's talk about saving money, or let's talk about retirement. Kind of come around these issues by bringing it up in other areas, because a lot of times when we don't talk about money, that's when we tend to get into trouble. Talking about money can affect your own self-worth. And I'll give you a personal example. My background with money is that my parents didn't want to talk about how much they made. They would say, well, it's really nobody's business. And they didn't want me to share how much my parents made with my friends. We never talked about it. We never really talked about how much our parents made. If my parents had told me how much they made, would I have shared that with my friends? I don't know. I'm still friends with one of those people today. Do I talk to her about our salaries? Not really. I know she's probably making twice as much as I ever made just because of her profession. But we don't sit down and talk about it. That's not something we ever discuss. However, we have had some other discussions around money. And so I think that is healthy. Money can affect how we see ourselves and affect our own self-worth. So if that is the case, how can talking about money help us out? Well, I think part of it is the secrecy involved. When I am honest, now I don't have to share everything that's going on with me, but when I am transparent, when I am myself, then I feel more comfortable in my own skin. I'm more confident because I don't have anything to hide. I don't have to pretend to be somebody I'm not. I think that part of that is saying, okay, what's really important? And when you have money as a secret, money itself becomes more important. It's like this looming thing in the back, kind of directing your steps and making you say things and be something that you're not. And so I think that talking about money, and I'm not saying we have to go and blab to everybody how much we make, but we really need to share about, how can you save for retirement, or how can you save money in general. And I know that if we don't start talking about money, then when we do ask for money for whatever we've created, for our craft, for what we give, we're going to undervalue whatever we have, and that's simply also going to hurt us. I think that when I was a pastor, not talking about money hurt other pastors, hurt everybody. Because if you don't talk about it, you're going to say, hey, we're not worth anything because we're not being paid really what we are worth. Does that make sense? We're not being paid as though what we do is important. Our salaries are cut when the budget can't be balanced in the churches. We're not talking about our money situation and realizing that we're unequal, even though a lot of us have we've been working the same amount of time, we've gone to the same schools, all this kinds of stuff, and it just depends on what churches we're sent to. If we had talked more, I think it would have made us feel like we had some dignity and some rights that otherwise go unspoken. Now, I've been babbling for a while, but now I want to hear from you. So I'm just asking you in the comments below, please tell me why you don't talk about money. So how can you talk about money? You've got to start with yourself. In other words, you've got to think to yourself, okay, why don't I talk about money? What is my money background? And I have a video up here that will talk a little bit about your money mindset and how to change it, but you really do have to figure out what's my money story and why do I feel this way about money? Because how you feel about money will affect how you're going to talk about money. Talk to your family. Think about yourself and then talk with your family. Maybe it's your extended family, maybe it's your immediate family. But just say, hey, how come we don't talk about money? I even sat down with my own family and said, okay, why is the money subject taboo? And our teenage son said, I wish I would talk more about money because I don't feel like I know anything about it. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I've let him down. I've spoken a little bit about how money can affect our self-worth. And I just want to say this here, is that money does not determine your worth. It might affect how you think about yourself, but how much money you have or don't have does not affect the kind of person you are. Your character, your commitment, your joy, your life, your purpose, all of those things are not dependent on money. And you are a person of great worth, and you don't have to have money or not have money in order to be that great person. In reinventing, sometimes our money situation will change. If you are coming out of a relationship, perhaps you depended on your partner for some income, that's going to affect you. That might begin to seep into your self-worth. If you're in a particular career and you leave that career or change careers, then that is going to affect your money. You may have more, you may have less, but it's going to have some impact on your self-worth. So one of the things we have to do when we are reinventing ourselves is claim who we are and the fact that we are worth a lot more than our money says about us. So now that you know why we don't talk about money and why we should, and a little bit about how we shouldn't have money affect who we are and our certain worth, I want you to be able to talk about money with others. So my challenge now is for you to go to the Facebook group, YouTube for Reinventors, and let's talk about money. Also in the comments below, you can start a question, ask something, talk about money, talk about why you don't talk about money or do talk about money. And don't forget to subscribe. You'll see my lovely picture up here and you just click on that to subscribe. And here is the videos about having a money mindset or changing your money mindset. And YouTube thinks you might enjoy this video up here. Have a great one.